Hi everyone, it's Fred. So I just wanted to go over the shape builder real quick in Figma, the new tool that was released last week. And I'm going to go ahead and make something while we're doing it. So the shape builder tool, to access it, you need to be in the draw mode in Figma. So by default, we are in design, which one we're used to seeing. But next to it now, we have this awesome icon draw. So I'll go ahead and click that. And you can see we get a bunch more stuff down here. In fact, when I go ahead and select a shape I have, we also get another toolbar that pops up that has things that we're used to seeing, like union, subtract, etc. So let's go ahead and use the shape builder tool. What I'm going to do is drag this ellipse out here, and I'm going to double click into it to get into vector drawing mode. And then once I've done that, the toolbar here will have changed, and we will see now the shape builder. And we can also hit M on the keyboard to pull this up. Before I do that though, I'm going to pull over this other ellipse I have right here and kind of line them up, overlap them how I want. And now what I want to do is make this one shape, right? Right now there are two separate shapes. So what I want to do is make this one shape. To do this, I'm going to go ahead and double click into it to get in vector mode, and then hit shift on the keyboard and go ahead and select this as well. And I can go ahead and tap the shape builder icon. Now, when I do that and I hover my mouse over the shape, any piece of the shape, we can see that we now have these little blue lines going through everything. So what I can do is click inside one of these shapes and drag through, and we now have a joined shape, a combined shape, right? We can see this is now one whole shape that I have. And we can also do the opposite, so we can kind of cut things out. For example, if I went ahead and drew just a circle, let's go ahead and do that. Just a circle. And then let's say I had a rectangle and I wanted to use the rectangle to cut off the circle maybe halfway or 3/4 of the way through. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll draw out just a square this time. And I'll drag it over and overlap these two. Let's make it a little bit bigger so it actually overlaps. And I want to cut, let's cut it right here, right? So we just want this like half moon shape here on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is click in, select both items, right? So hit shift, select this as well. And now what I can do, if I hit the shape builder tool and I hold the option or alt key on the keyboard while I hover over, you'll see things are now red. So what I want to do is go ahead and drag through the things that I no longer want in this. So if I let go, now I have that shape and I'm able to cut it. And now I can start building shapes. So let's take a step back though and go back to this one. So what I'll do is the same thing. So let's go ahead and drag this one over here. Let's actually change the rotation on this just a bit. So we'll go ahead and put this up here. And then actually, no, let's do it two separately. So let's go ahead and drag this here and we'll put this together and we'll do the same thing. We'll go ahead and start combining these shapes. So we'll go ahead, double click in, do the same with this, shift into it, and then we can go ahead and combine these two. And now I can go ahead and even combine these two, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll double click here and shift onto that, hit M on the keyboard for the shape builder tool. And now I can go through and I have one large shape and I can start doing all sorts of stuff with this. I can make a flower, I can make a butterfly, I can do whatever I want. In fact, let's make a butterfly real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw some lines. And we'll just draw this one here. Let's go ahead and notice now that because we are in the draw mode, I can play with the stroke and items with range sliders, much nicer to do. So let's make this bigger. Let's give it some, we'll double click into it and give it some different ends here in a second. But what I want to do now is go ahead and select the bendy tool, and we'll go ahead and, oops, let's do it again, hit the bendy tool. Come on, there we go. Cool, so I'll go ahead and hit the bendy tool. My mouse is a little wild today, and we'll go ahead, bend it out a little bit. I can even go ahead now and change the caps. So we've done that, and let's go ahead and rotate it just a tad as well. So let's, a little too much, let's rotate it maybe there and drag it over. And then just to be sure, I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste and flip horizontal. And so I have two, and we can go ahead and move this one over as well. And then, you know what, why not union this all together? So I'll select them all, and we still have our union, subtract, everything we're used to seeing down here, intersect, exclude, etc. in here. Let's go ahead and just union these, and let's go ahead and change the color then so it's all one color. Let's go ahead and do this, make it real bright, and give it a stroke, a big thick stroke. Let's do that. And so now we're starting to get this idea of a butterfly. So we can start building out whatever we wanted this way. So that's really all there is to the shape tool right now. There's a lot more stuff in the draw mode that you should definitely check out.